And that's it. It does not take up any space on your phone, and it works anywhere your phone is working, and it's a better quality than we've ever had. It does not take up any space on your phone, and it works
Beautiful.
anywhere your phone is working. And here's a big thing. It's less than 20-second delay anywhere in the world. And here's a big thing. It's less than 20-second delay anywhere in the world. So if you timed it, you heard me say 20-second delay, and it was within 20 seconds. It's cool, man. That is so. Now you got a picture of me within a picture of me within a picture of me. You heard me say 20-second delay, and it was within 20 seconds. It's cool, man. That is so. Now you got a picture of me within a picture of me within a picture of me. All right, that's enough. That's enough. All right. Now, if I stopped right there and told you that that was the end of it, that would be enough. But there's more. Okay. It will work on any device that has the internet connected to it. It'll work anywhere in the world, and it has absolutely no advertising, no distractions, no kind of promotions on there whatsoever. It's only our shows, our live shows, our recorded shows. It's 24 hours a day and never a delay. But you have to have internet on your side. That's it. But if you have access to anything else, you will be able to get this. And it's in high quality, HD. That's high definition. And if you have a real strong internet, you can use the SD. Okay? I call that super definition. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so this gives you that ability to watch Guidus TV. Great quality, great video, great audio. Everything is the best that we've ever had. And by the way, I'm not saying that like some presidents do. You know, I'm saying it for real. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Did it work on your phone, doctor?
Yes, sir. Yes, and it's definitely high definition and very very good quality. I'm gonna play with it, and after the show, just kind of show it to my kids. So this is definitely a much better version. So,
Yeah.
alhamdulillah. Dr. Sultan just joined us. Salam alaikum.
Dr. Sultan. Salam alaikum, doctor.
Walaikum assalam. We are all three from blue states.
Yeah, look, we're wearing blue. Wow. Oh, look out now. What's going on with that? He's got a blue shirt. I got a blue shirt. You have a blue shirt.
Yeah.
What are we trying to tell everybody? I don't know.
We didn't conspire to do it that way. It came out that way.
MashaAllah. Dr. Sultan, it's great to see you. Great to be with you tonight. Did you hear about our new app for the phones and for the devices, for the computers, everything? Did you hear about it?
Yeah, I just came on because I had some problem with my computer. So I solved it, and you are in the middle. I don't know what you were talking about, but you were talking about something great. You see, never ever had something great like that. And no one ever had a great thing like that. And
I'm starting to say, yeah, when I say it's so great and nobody ever had it before, it's beginning to sound like the president. Woo-wee. All right. And by the way, we wish him very well. We wish good health for him, for his wife, and for his whole staff. We don't need them to be sick. And for those who thought that we would be happy to hear that he had the sickness, we definitely were not. We're not at all happy about that. We are happy to hear that he is recovering. And so I would like to, regardless of how you feel about a person's political notions, their business notions, at the same time, us as Muslims, we must, in front of Allah, We must not attack a person's character or his political beliefs or something like that. We can have opposition to what they say, but we don't say we hate the person. We must not scratch the dignity of any person, ever. Even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he didn't scratch the dignity of his sworn enemies. He didn't scratch their dignity. And he upheld every single agreement that he had with them unless they broke the agreement first, regardless. So I want to remind my brothers and sisters in Islam that if we're true Muslims in front of Allah, we do not make dua against anybody and wish them bad. We don't do that. And yeah, that's part of our test, you know, because sometimes you don't like somebody, you don't like the way they're operating and what they're doing, but realize that that person could be guided by Allah and be better than you. That could happen, and it has happened. I like to use always the case of Omar radiallahu anhu, who was on his way to kill. He was on his way. He was walking over with his sword in hand to kill Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But something happened along the way, and when he got to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was totally in submission to Allah, and he wanted to make his shahada with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No dawah needed. By the way, no dawah needed. He said, I want to accept Islam. No questions. He didn't ask questions, why do you do this or why you do that. He accepted Islam and became one of the best of the Muslims for all time. So I would like to remind all of us about, you don't hate the person. You can hate the evil that people do. I hate the evil that I do, okay? But I don't hate me. Let's put that in perspective, guys, and try to keep everything.
There are two things that come to my mind, you know.
Please.
One of the things is that when you're praying somebody's good, there is a angel who's praying for good for you. And if you're praying something bad for somebody, there's an angel praying bad for you. So therefore, we should not ever pray for something bad to happen. And the second incident, some Muslim ruler, you know, in early Islam, somebody came to him with the news that his worst enemy had died. So he wanted to give him the glad tidings that, okay, your enemy died. But he, in turn, turned around and see, do you think that I will not die? So you don't pray for anybody's bad things happen to that person.
That's a very, very good reminder. And there is a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling us that whenever we pray for anybody in the ghaib, meaning they're unseen, that they don't see us, but of course Allah always sees what we're doing. So that is a good chance for us to make dua for them. And because there is an angel behind you when you're doing that, making the same dua for you, saying, he says Ameen for your dua, and for this person the same thing. So yeah, you're right, exactly about that. Something we should be very cautious of. And by the way, Doctor, I like your blue outfit there. Is that a pullover sweater? Is that what that is?
Yes, that's pullover sweater, yeah.
Yeah. Is it cold up there?
It's getting cold there, yeah.
Now, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Dr. Sultan, he is in the middle of the United States, and this is unique. He's in the middle, east and west, but he's also in the middle, north and south. He's in almost the exact middle of the United States in St. Louis, Missouri. And then me, I'm out here in California, and Dr. Ado, he is in the very eastern part of the United States, but he's down in the Florida area, which is the tip, the most eastern part of the United States. MashaAllah. By the way, Dr. Ado, tell us about the weather there. What's going on with the weather?
Weather today was hot. 100 degrees up. You know, it was very nice and cool during the weekend. It was in the 60s. It was so refreshing in the morning. But today it got hot. It wasn't too humid, but we should expect maybe a 15, 20 degrees drop by this the temperature by this time of the year. So
All right. Okay. Well, and here it actually was nice. It was warm, of course, because it's California, but
Yeah.
it was really nice. And then at night, it was so cold last night. Uh, I was tempted to turn on the heat, and then I remembered, well, we got all these fans on, so we shut down the fans and put something warmer over, and yeah, we got by. But I think we're going into the colder part of the weather for the United States. Supposed to be, but you're saying it's hot, so I don't know. October?
today was hot. You can always tell when you turn your car and see if you park there for a while. You know how it is in Florida, and then you go there and the temperature is like 102. So you have to turn the air conditioner and let it cool off for a couple of minutes before you start driving the car. So it hits you. Remember that they get the fog in the glass.
Oh yeah, I used to live in Fort Myers, so I know. Yeah, that's a little bit. Fort Myers is more south than you are.
Yes, about 2 hours.
Yeah,
So mhm.
yeah. We ventured down to Miami a couple times. We also visited the the east coast of Florida and the west coast a lot. We were on the west coast because Fort Myers is on the west coast. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Anyway, let's go back to St. Louis now. Assalamu alaikum, doctor.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Tell us about the weather there. What's going on?
It was on the weekend. It was pretty cold. It was 40 degrees, and going in the morning and playing the golf. On Sunday, that's my favorite thing to do. It was chilly. Then later on, yesterday it was a little bit warmer. Today in the morning it was a little chilly, but in the afternoon got into 70 degrees, so I can't complain.
Well,
So this is a changing weather. Sometimes it gets too cold, sometimes it gets hot, sometimes you don't know whether to heat on or air conditioning on it. And in the evening there's air conditioning, and late at night you got to put the heat on. You see, so this is a fluctuating times when you don't know what's going to happen. But it settles. Things settles.
Well, I can relate to that subject you mentioned about can't complain, but if you do complain, most people won't listen anyway. So I would like to venture this question forward for you, Doctor. According to your knowledge of what's going on, is things getting better? Are things getting better with that virus spreading around, or are we okay, or what are we looking at?
Number one, we are not okay, and I don't see any in the near future we're going to be okay. Now we are getting worse again. There was a time when the things started to get settled, but the cases are rising all over in the city, but especially in the rural area of Missouri, because they do not do social distancing. They do not wear masks, and that's the biggest problem we have in the rural Missouri area right now.
I think the cases are rising in 32 states, and they're even thinking about a new cycle, if you would, of lockdown in New York City, because the surge is getting to be of alarming rate, and this is the second resurgence if you would, of the cases after it got under control. So we got to take all the precautions for everyone, no exceptions, to social distancing, wear the masks, and maintain that throughout, at least throughout the winter till maybe March. From now to March, because it's going to be very critical, time to navigate through.
Yeah, it reminds me of something. We always talk about praying, but there's also a room for action You see, this world we have, it is a world of causes. There's an effect, there's a cause. There's an effect, there's always a cause behind that, whether you accept or you don't accept. Yeah, what is happening right now in Washington D.C. It reminds me something very interesting about this, because the way Allah Ta'ala has made the world, it makes the world run. That's fine, we understand. But how does it make it run? It make it run by principles of certain laws, physics and chemistry laws, and so on and so forth. So one of the principles of operation is called gravity. You see, if you don't believe in gravity, well, you can go up the mountain and jump down and see what happens. You see, the same thing, so much happening in Washington, D.C. is they don't believe in gravity. You see, so they try to do whatever they try to do, and spread so much. Even the president got sick. You see, so basically the point in here is we should not let our common sense go. Apply common sense, you will be safe, and other people will be safe.
Doctor, what we're looking for is to give us some kind of. I'm asking Dr. Adil, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about that disease and how it can affect our health, as well as you're a heart specialist, so I'd like to talk to you about the heart. And I had a little bit of chest pain today, and they wanted to take me to the doctor, and I said, no, I'm going to be all right. And then it turned out to be an air pocket and something like that. And but how does this COVID-19 affect people that are elderly?
Okay, thank you very much. I believe that COVID is now showing systemic, multi-system organ involvement. It used to be thought that just a lung, people get shortness of breath and their oxygen level drop, and then because they thought to infectious problem, but it turns out to be on further autopsy studies that it's actually blood clots that are forming. And there's another phenomenon, it's called cytokine storm, where there's a lot of inflammatory mediators that are being secreted in large amounts that's caused lung damage. Because of those two elements, the therapies have been designed so that part of it is a blood thinner into the protocol, and also just like the other day we saw a high dose steroids, dexamethasone. That's another drug that is used to cut down the inflammation and improve survival. We've learned also that there is, because of those small blood clots, that people can have strokes, can have small heart attacks. Usually when they do the cardiac catheterization or the angiogram, it doesn't turn to have high degree of blockages, but it shows on the blood test that there is a elevation of something called troponin, which is the enzyme that leads to indicating a damage to the heart muscle, and can go to the kidney, cause kidney failure, liver, and so on. So it's a multi-system organ involvement acutely, but then even those who recovered, now we have incidents of reinfection have been reported, and then long-term sequelae of consequences of people even after recovery, quote unquote serologic recovery, meaning testing negative for the COVID, mean they're recovered, but there's still lingering symptoms like fatigue, like shortness of breath, like inability to concentrate, fogging, in the mental concentration and so on. So those are all things that have to be taken care of. Of course, with age, there is increased risk, but if you maintain everything, in proper diet, supplements, staying a healthy lifestyle away from smoking and alcohol, and all the other toxins, I would recommend a baby aspirin. It's a good, prophylactic or preventative therapy, especially if someone who has this, no bleeding problems and no contraindications. I mean, a baby aspirin at night will be protective against blood clots. Also, someone on the blood test, they have elevated cholesterol, for instance. These are simple things that they can, if it's really elevated, then maybe medications can lower it. We call the statins. There are so many choices of them. And then, you have to deal with the character of pain. If the pain doesn't go away, if the pain is usually when it's heart related, it's usually exertional. This way, because there's a billion causes for chest pain, I'm only looking to the stuff that comes from the heart or inadequate blood flow to the heart, and that's the heart pain or angina. So it comes in with exertion and it relieves with rest. It comes in with exertion, people walking around the block, and it stops and so on. So that is a very highly suspicious. But again, most of the recent trials, and now the therapy is, if you take these medications and a healthy lifestyle, it would do the same good as if somebody had stents or this metal mesh that treat blockages. So now wellness and prevention is the way to go. There's not full metal jackets or frequent invasive interventions is not going to do good, except in the setting of acute heart attack. The bottom line is there's a lot of things that we could do, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. And I put it in a couple of things about when people what to sort, how to sort out which is which. So if the pain doesn't go away, usually like 10-15 minutes, and it's coming after exertion initially and then later become progressive at rest, that's raised red flags. But if it comes in like indigestion, if it comes like you said, air pocket, or other things called pleurisy. Remember, we said Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in hadith about the custis, and it helps the pleurisy, the pleuritic chest pain, where there's inflammation of the layers of the lung. When you take a deep breath, it hurts, and it's a sharp, and it's pointed towards where the inflammation is. That is very benign. That is not the heart pain that comes with blockages. Usually, it's a response to anti-inflammatory agents. But of course, when I tell anybody, if things don't resolve and so on, because now I know people are reluctant to go to the emergency room because of risk of infection. So it's a whole, now really have to educate everybody so that you don't go unnecessarily being worried and have added stress from an anxiety, not really from the disease itself. So hopefully, inshallah, that could be helpful to everyone.
Yeah, I think that some of the things that people feel, and you see somebody put their hand on their chest, and you feel like right away maybe he's got something, yeah, we lost the images I was putting up, but anyway.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, the thing that I was talking about was somebody putting their hand on their chest and they're going, oh, like that. Right away we think that maybe he's having a heart attack. Is that right?
It could be, and we have to put the scenario on the proper setting and the risk factors and the provocating circumstances and what leads, what not, and then further testing with EKG, with blood tests, and maybe some other imaging studies. So you got to put it all together to come up with whether or not related, because it could be something else. Could be could be a blood clot in the lung that can simulate chest pain, but it's not due to the heart. So there's, like I said, a lot of differential diagnoses of chest pain, but we have to sort out and do the proper workup to figure out which is the cause for that and treat it accordingly.
Okay, what if somebody's grabbing his stomach and like well, let's put something up. There you go. The guy grabbing his stomach and he's saying, oh, my stomach. Could that also be related to a heart problem?
Very good. Some overlap between the heart and stomach related symptoms like nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, or indigestion or GERD. That could be angina equivalent in some cases, but we don't know. If somebody takes Tums and it goes away, you know what? It's not heart, right? I mean, you don't need to be the rocket scientist for that. Or somebody takes one of those, proton pump inhibitors like Nexium over the counter, or Prolisac, or so on and so forth. That gives some sort of relief. It's unlikely to be heart related, but there could be heart disease and stomach disease could coexist in some cases. That's why there's an art in kind of what is the likelihood, probability, and the testing that will lead to the right diagnosis.
Okay, we got to take a quick break, guys. Everybody stand firm on what you got. Well, we're going to be right back right after this. So stay tuned and stay guided with Guidance TV. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Guess what? The judging is over, and we just mailed out this translation of the Quran to everyone who entered the contest, uploaded a video, and recited the Quran on TV. But there's more gifts and more prizes coming because it's not over yet. That's right. Now you can get extra prizes, extra gifts, and extra rewards from Allah. Just read the translation. Yep, read the translation. Okay, guys, now you know from what you just saw that this is a great chance to learn the interpretation of the verses of the Quran. And I had a Quran translation. Yeah, here it is. This is it. This is the one that we've been sending out to the youngsters that joined our contest and win it. Now we have sent out some of these, and I realize myself if you've already received one of these, I'm going to show you how to use it, because I played with it, and I could not figure out how to get it open and get it started, and I was getting so frustrated. Then, but it tells you that a 5-year-old kid could do it, so I get a 5-year-old kid, and anyway, this is how it looks. When you opened up the box that we sent you, this is how it will look, all right? But now, trying to get it open, trying to get it to do anything, you can't get it to do, because you have to know. Let me see if I can put this up where you can see it. Okay, right here, there's a button on this side and a button on the other side, a round button. It doesn't look like it, but those are actually buttons. Squeeze it real tight, all right? Squeeze it like that, and you'll see that it will come out, and you can get it to go anywhere you want it, all right? Then just this back part of it opens up like that. Can you see it opening? All right, open it up all the way like that, and guess what? That is your tripod. That is your tripod, all right? And this part is what holds your phone. So you can extend it out. Well, this has got plastic over it, so it's not going to extend. It'll open up, and you can put your phone in it this way. Let me put my phone up here. You can put it this way, or you can, when you put it this way, this thing will turn, all right? So that will make it this way. You follow that? Can you see, guys? All right?
Yep.
All right. So when you go like this, and it'll twist up like that, and then it's got a tripod on it, so you can just set it down. This tripod is very solid. You can put a real heavy phone on there, and you can put clips on the phone for lighting and microphones and everything else, and it will not fall over, inshallah. So this thing, now to put it back, push it like this, all right, and then like this, and that puts it right back, and then you have to squeeze those two little dots together, all right, and then when you do it, it'll close right back up, but it is hard to do it. Now, if you need mom or dad to help you with it, you go ahead and do that. This little deal right here is the one that we've sent out a lot of these, so if you got one of those, and you wondered how to do it, now you know, all right? And if you haven't received that, you just got the Quran and you didn't receive it, just be patient, because I know that the post office is taking a long time with some stuff, and if they lose it, we'll send you another one, okay? Don't worry about it. All right, let's go back to our program in progress right now. And we'll go back to Dr. Adil. Salam alaikum, doctor.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think you had a question for Dr. Sultan.
Yes, I
So,
did. And you reminded me. Thank you so
allergy
much.
question. No,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
He's waiting. He's waiting for it.
What my question was about the people that have allergies. I have one boy, a young man now, who's been working with us for the last 10 years in Guidance TV. He has a peanut allergy. He cannot be in a room, even if you open peanuts up, and he will break out. So he's got a serious peanut allergy. I have another one, a young boy that grew up to a man, and he works with us from time to time, and he has an allergy to cat dandruff or cat hair or whatever it is. And I'm asking now, what about this effect of the COVID virus on people with allergies, and what can we do, or what should they stay away from? Go ahead.
A very good question. Let me tell you, you brought up the cat allergy, so I'll tell you a little very interesting story. This is a real story. You see, I will call two guys, Tom and Jim. You see, so this physician tells the story that Jim walked into the office and he was testing the other guy, and there was a big allergy reaction. And he said, "No, what is this?" Because they were friends, Tom and John. They were friends. So he said, "Well, is this the allergy reaction to the cat?" And he said, he started laughing his head off, you know. So I said, "Why so funny? Why are you laughing, you know?" He says, "Doc, last year, when you told me that I'm allergic to cat, I gave the cat to him." So the point in here is that these dogs and cats, they're highly allergenic animals. And if you have exposure to dogs and cats, invariably, most people will become sensitive to dog somewhere or cat somewhere in their lifetime. So that's point one. Number two, role of, first of all, I will talk about the role of infection. If you have problem with the allergies and you're not treating your allergies like sinus allergies, asthma, and stuff like that, your mucous membrane is inflamed. So when you get any viral infection, it is going to be much more severe as compared with somebody who doesn't have allergies. Whether it's sinus or bronchial infection, what can be severe? Now, when you add COVID to the equation, which is known to cause so much massive inflammation, if your allergies are not under control, then you are more likely to get into more serious trouble than somebody who just gets the COVID but doesn't have any allergy problems. Now, coming down to peanut allergy, I will talk about from the practical point of view. If you think about any kind of allergies, the worst kind of allergy is to peanuts. There's nothing more severe because, as you said, even small amount cause bad reaction. Even the smelling of the peanuts, somebody who's highly sensitive to, it can put into anaphylactic shock. So the what is the treatment? How do you treat it? Of course, the treatment is avoidance. You avoid it, you're okay. But from practical point of view, it may not be that practical all the time. So you're likely to get into trouble. Now there are new things coming into immunotherapy about peanuts, but those things are, anything commercial is so expensive that I don't think that it is worth that much money to spend. You just do general precaution of avoiding, and you'll be okay. But and sometimes you still may get into trouble, so you must carry EpiPen. This reminds me in where my wife works. It's a true story. This guy who was very highly sensitive to peanuts. And another colleague's wife, she wanted to make some cookies and stuff like that. She knew that he was sensitive to peanut, but accidentally she put peanut flour. And he asked her, I said, no, it's perfectly fine to stay. And he got into that and got into serious trouble. So the point in here is that extreme caution, patient with this kind of sensitivity, extreme caution to be taken. And if I'm in that position, I will never eat any food outside because there's a potential of peanut, and I would strictly restrict the foods even at home. One of the people with peanut allergy, one major source of real concern is Chinese food, because they use a lot of peanut oil and peanuts in their cooking. Even if they don't use the peanut in their cooking, the peanut oil can give serious reactions. So you have to be really cautious and all the way on the lookout, and don't let your guards down.
All right. Well, I'm glad you cleared that up for us. I hope that we'll be able to see some people get their allergy cleared up as well. Alhamdulillah. What other types of, first of all, the question that I had was, what could be the effects of the COVID virus on the peanut or any allergies? Let's just say any allergies that the virus could affect, or that the allergy could affect somebody with the virus. How does that work, doctor?
Well, as I said, that people with allergies, they are more predisposed to infection, both bacterial and as well as viral infection. That's point number one. Point number two is when we add the nature of the infection, COVID, which causes so much inflammation in the first place. So patients with especially controlled allergies, I'm not that much concerned about. But with uncontrolled allergies, which I mean is that people have allergies, but they're taking antihistamine, decongestants, bronchial inhalers, and stuff like that to control those allergies. They're not under control allergy. They are likely to get much more severe infection than if they didn't have the problem with the allergies. Because number one, the bronchial tubes are inflamed, sinuses are inflamed. And the second thing is that in allergic diseases, they use, like for example, nasal steroids or bronchial steroids to control the inflammation. So whenever you use steroids, you're suppressing the immune system, and you're likely to get more serious infection just because of the use of steroids.
All right. Well, now the coronavirus, I've got an image up here right now telling us that the coronavirus has a risk and we need to protect ourselves if we have asthma. So do you deal with asthma patients?
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of asthma patients, you see.
Should they be wearing the mask as well, or is that something that asthma patients?
Absolutely, they should be wearing masks. But the key is that they should get proper allergy treatment so that you control the allergies in such a fine way that you do not need inhalers. You don't need inhaler steroids and puffers and what and what not, because that is the key of successful treating allergies. Is you should be able to treat the cause so that you do not need antihistamine, decongestants, nasal sprays, bronchial sprays, etc., etc.
All right. So overall, now this question is more basic. Anybody who might even possibly have an allergy or a small reaction, let's say like a reaction to plants. So, in my case, for instance, it's called a fir. It's a kind of a fir tree that grows in Texas. Whenever the springtime comes, I get so bad. It's like I've got a horrible virus, and as soon as I get away from it, I'm fine. But
And that's not a virus. That's an allergy to pollen. You get sneezing, itching in the eyes, watering the eyes, and stuff like that.
yeah, that's exactly what I get.
Yeah, exactly.
But
So
since I left Texas 20 years ago, I haven't had it ever.
well, see, there are three principles in treating allergies. Number one is avoid what you're sensitive to. You see, for example, if somebody is deadly sensitive to penicillin, and let's say one drop of penicillin like to kill them, if they don't take penicillin, rest of their life, what difference does it make? So that's a simple treatment. The level number two treatment is when you cannot avoid something and the problems are significantly bothersome, you do the desensitized allergy shots to build up the immunity. And the third thing is, while you're building up the immunity, if you not want to use antihistamine, decongestant, bronchial sprays, that's okay. But once, within short period of time, you should be able to build up immunity, then you should not need all those medications. So that's what I emphasize on treating the causes so that you don't need all those medications.
Okay, doctor, what are some of the things that maybe we're not used to being causing allergies? Like I mentioned peanuts because I think a lot of people know about the peanut allergy and the cat hair allergy we talked about. And then you mentioned some of the others. What are some of the, in your eyes, you're seeing the asthma and so on going on. So what would you say would be the best overall thing that we could do as anybody walking down the street or going around people? What thing could we do to avoid the virus and avoid the allergies and all the rest of it? One simple thing, what would it be?
Well, unfortunately, there is not one single thing. If you want to define one single thing, get in a bubble, but you can't get in the bubble, you see. So I was giving the example.
I'm with you 100% on what you're saying, but I'm saying if somebody could only choose one thing that it's gotta work for almost everybody, would it be the mask?
Well, a mask will, to a far degree. That's not going to help most people with severe allergy problems, you see.
Yeah, but I said general. I said everybody. I wanted to include everybody. So if everybody was wearing a mask, it would be at least a little better off, right?
Yeah.
And everybody should be on black seed. That's
okay. All right. Dr. Adel is saying black seed. Black seed.
Yeah.
All right.
We just have helped so many with asthma, allergies, sinusitis, allergic rhinitis, all these things where steroids kill the immunity, black seed build the immunity, and it gives the extra defense and modulates the severity of reaction. So in case you've seen all those pictures you pointed out about people swollen up and their eyes and their lips and all that it could be less intense. So they don't stop breathing or die.
Yes,
we got a phone call. Let's take the phone call. Let's find out who's on the phone. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. This is Miriam from Texas.
Miriam from Texas, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, doing good. I'm doing good.
This is Miriam. She's the very first person to ever call in on our 800 number, and she called in and said, I want to make shahada. Because she'd been watching our TV channel. We were just starting out 10 years ago, almost 9 years ago. Is that right, sister?
Yes, actually, in 2011 is when you gave that to me. So going on 10 years. Yeah, this coming April, actually.
Wow, mashallah. And since then, Allah has tested you with all kinds of things, and you've managed to keep on going. I'm so proud of you.
Yes. Yes, I just want to touch on the topic you're having tonight about keeping safe and everything. As you privately know, probably your viewers don't know, I've been homebound for 5 years, but I've had an immune system problem. I won't go into it, but basically I don't have a spleen, so I'm one of those compromised people. I'll go out. My husband and my sons, when they come in, I say my son, when they come in from work, they wash up before they even come and see me, and they take care of the proper, like you should be doing, like when you go out from work anyway. So I just wanted to remind everybody that definitely it is important, because those of us that can't help it, that could easily catch it, it's just a safety precaution. And I just wanted to, put it out there that just because you don't go out doesn't mean you can't catch it. So for those that have spouses that are home, please keep them in mind.
MashaAllah, I think that's great. And you called just at the time we got to wrap it all up and go off the air. But for all of you watching, I want you to stay tuned and stay guided with
Guide Us TV.
Guide Us TV.
I love it. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Guess what? The judging is over, and we just mailed out this translation of the Quran to everyone who entered the contest, uploaded a video, and recited the Quran on TV. But there's more gifts and more prizes coming, because it's not over yet. That's right. Now you can get extra prizes, extra gifts,